Have you ever felt an emotion rise within you that did not seem to belong to this moment? A sudden fear with no clear cause, a deep sadness that appears without warning, or a sense of familiarity with people and places you have never known in this life. Perhaps you have asked yourself why certain patterns repeat again and again, despite your sincere efforts to change them. You meditate, you reflect, you grow, and yet something subtle continues to pull you back into old reactions. Dear seeker, this experience is far more common than you may realize, and it is not a sign of failure. It is a quiet invitation from the soul. In the yogic view of life, the soul is not confined to a single lifetime. It journeys through many births, carrying with it impressions formed by thoughts, emotions, and actions. These impressions, delicate yet powerful, shape our tendencies, our fears, and even our spiritual longing. Often they operate below the surface of conscious awareness, guiding us silently, like unseen currents beneath a calm ocean. When these currents are unresolved, they express themselves as restlessness, confusion, or a feeling of being blocked on the inner path. You may wonder why, even in moments of peace, something within you still seeks release. Why the heart longs for freedom beyond what the outer world can provide. This longing is not accidental. It is the soul remembering that it is more than the present story, more than the limitations of one lifetime. The purpose of meditation is not merely to relax the mind, but to gently dissolve these ancient imprints and return awareness to its original clarity. In this video, you are invited to step beyond the surface of the mind and into the stillness where the soul is healed. Through calm awareness and sacred attention, you will learn how meditation can help clear the echoes of the past and restore your natural state of peace. In order to understand how meditation can clear past life imprints, we must first understand what these imprints truly are. In the yogic understanding, life does not begin with birth, nor does it end with death. The body is temporary, but the soul is continuous, moving from one experience to another in its long journey towards self-realization. As the soul passes through many lives, every thought, emotion, desire, and action leaves behind a subtle mark upon the inner consciousness. These marks are known as samskaras, or soul impressions. These impressions are not stored in the physical brain, which dissolves at death, but in the subtle body and the deeper layers of the mind. They remain like seeds resting in the soil, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. Some of these seeds express themselves as natural talents, spiritual sensitivity, or compassion that seems to come effortlessly. Others appear as irrational fears, strong emotional reactions, recurring challenges, or patterns that seem to repeat despite our best intentions. These are not punishments, nor are they mistakes. They are simply unfinished lessons seeking completion. Many people unknowingly live their lives responding to these hidden impressions, believing they are reacting to the present moment, while in truth they are reliving the past. This is why self-analysis alone often feels incomplete. The roots of certain tendencies lie deeper than memory. Meditation works at this deeper level. It quiets the surface mind and allows awareness to descend into the subconscious and superconscious realms, where these imprints exist. When the mind becomes still, the soul begins to loosen its attachment to old patterns. Awareness itself becomes healing. By understanding past life imprints in this way, we stop fearing them and begin to see them as opportunities for release, growth, and spiritual freedom. Understanding past life imprints naturally leads to a deeper question: why is it important to clear them at all? The answer is gentle yet profound. These imprints, when left unresolved, quietly shape the direction of our lives. They influence how we think, how we react, and how we relate to others, often without our conscious awareness. Even when we sincerely wish to change, these old impressions can pull us back into familiar patterns, creating frustration and self-doubt. This inner conflict is not a personal weakness, but the result of energies carried forward from earlier experiences of the soul. In the yogic view, karma is not a system of reward and punishment. It is simply the law of cause and effect working across time. Every experience seeks balance and understanding. When past life imprints remain active, they continue to draw similar situations into our lives, giving us repeated chances to respond with greater awareness. Until the lesson is learned, the pattern repeats. Clearing these imprints allows the soul to move forward without the weight of unfinished experiences. On the spiritual path, unresolved impressions can also create subtle obstacles. A seeker may feel devotion, yet struggle with restlessness. One may long for inner peace, yet feel held back by unexplained fear or emotional heaviness. These are signs that deeper layers of the mind are asking for healing. Meditation addresses this need not by force, but by calm observation and inner stillness. When awareness becomes steady, old karmic energies lose their momentum. Clearing past life imprints matters because it restores freedom. The present moment becomes fresh and alive, no longer colored by unconscious reactions from the past. As these inner burdens dissolve, clarity increases, joy becomes more natural, and the soul begins to express its true, unconditioned nature. To understand how meditation reaches so deeply into the soul, we must understand the importance of stillness and the role of the spine in yogic science. In the teachings of yoga, the spine is not merely a physical structure. It is the main channel through which life energy and consciousness flow. Every experience the soul has ever known leaves a subtle vibration along this inner pathway. Past life imprints do not exist as clear memories, but as patterns of energy moving through the nervous system and the subtle body. When the breath is restless, the life force becomes scattered, and these old patterns remain active. Thoughts move quickly, emotions arise without warning, and the mind becomes easily disturbed. Stillness begins when the breath becomes calm and rhythmic. As the breath slows, awareness naturally withdraws from the outer senses and turns inward. This inward movement is the doorway to deeper perception, where past impressions quietly reside. In meditation, sitting with the spine straight and relaxed allows energy to flow freely upward. Gentle attention at the point between the eyebrows helps lift awareness away from habitual thinking and into higher consciousness. This center is not used for imagination or effort, but for calm, watchful awareness. When attention rests here, the mind gradually becomes quiet, and the deeper layers of the subconscious begin to surface and soften. Stillness does not mean forcing the mind to stop. It is a state of relaxed alertness. In this state, old imprints lose their grip because they depend on movement and identification. As awareness remains steady and unattached, the soul begins to remember its natural peace. The spine becomes a channel of healing, and meditation becomes a silent dialogue between the individual soul and its eternal source. Now that the mind understands the purpose of stillness, it is time to gently enter the experience itself. This meditation is not meant to uncover specific memories or relive past events. The soul releases what it is ready to release when the mind becomes calm and receptive. Begin by sitting comfortably, allowing the body to feel supported and at ease. Let the spine rise naturally, without strain, as if lifted by quiet inner strength. Close the eyes softly and allow the breath to return to its own peaceful rhythm. Bring your attention to the natural flow of breathing through the nose. With each slow inhale, feel a sense of calm entering the body. With each gentle exhale, feel tension leaving the muscles, the nerves, and the mind. There is nothing you need to force. Awareness alone is enough. As the breath becomes smoother, begin to feel a subtle current of energy moving along the spine, from the base upward toward the head. Now, in the inner silence, imagine a soft golden light flowing through this spinal channel. This light represents higher awareness, pure and compassionate. As it moves, it gently touches old impressions stored deep within the subconscious. You do not need to identify them. Simply feel that whatever the soul has carried from the past is being offered into this light. Silently affirm within yourself, I am the free soul. I release what no longer serves my growth. Thoughts or emotions may arise. Do not resist them. Watch them with kindness, as clouds passing through a vast sky. Each moment of calm observation weakens their hold. In this quiet state, the soul begins to cleanse itself naturally. Remain here for several minutes, resting in stillness, allowing the healing process to unfold in its own perfect time. As the soul becomes quieter through meditation, another force naturally awakens within, the power of devotion. While stillness clears the mind, devotion softens the heart, and many past life imprints are deeply rooted in emotional memory. Fear, grief, guilt, and attachment often dissolve not through effort, but through love. In the yogic path, devotion is not blind belief. It is a sincere offering of the inner self to a higher reality, whether one calls it God, divine consciousness, or infinite peace. When devotion is present, the burden of the past no longer feels heavy. The soul stops trying to carry everything alone. In quiet prayer or inner feeling, you may gently offer all unresolved experiences to the divine. There is no need for formal words. A simple inner request, made with humility and trust, is enough. Feel that you are being guided, protected, and understood beyond the limits of the thinking mind. Devotion creates surrender, and surrender dissolves resistance. Many karmic impressions remain active because the mind holds tightly to control, identity, and self-judgment. When the heart bows in sincerity, these patterns lose their strength. The soul remembers that it is supported by a greater intelligence that has guided it through many lifetimes. In this state, healing happens quietly and deeply. Old emotional knots begin to loosen. Forgiveness becomes natural, not forced. Gratitude arises, not for suffering itself, but for the growth it has produced. Through devotion, meditation becomes more than a technique, it becomes a relationship with the eternal. The past no longer feels like a chain, but like a chapter that has gently come to completion. As past life imprints begin to soften through meditation and devotion, a quiet transformation takes place in daily life. Freedom is no longer something distant or mystical, it becomes a living experience in the present moment. Clearing past life imprints does not mean erasing history or becoming someone new. It means no longer being unconsciously driven by old reactions. Life begins to feel lighter, choices become clearer, and the heart responds with greater calm instead of habit. In yogic wisdom, true liberation is not found by constantly looking backward, but by learning how to remain fully awake now. Each moment of awareness weakens the power of old tendencies. When fear arises, it is seen rather than obeyed. When old emotional patterns appear, they are met with understanding instead of judgment. This gentle witnessing breaks the cycle of repetition. The soul learns through awareness, not through struggle. Living free means practicing meditation regularly, but also carrying its essence into everyday actions. Speak with awareness. Act with calm intention. Pause before reacting. These small moments of consciousness dissolve karma faster than effort alone. Gradually, the seeker realizes that the present moment holds no burden from the past. It is always fresh, always open. As this understanding deepens, peace becomes natural rather than forced. Joy no longer depends on outer circumstances. The soul begins to recognize itself as the silent observer behind all experiences. In this recognition, the past loses its grip, and the future loses its anxiety. What remains is clarity, compassion, and quiet strength, the natural state of the awakened soul. Section 6: Living free in the present moment. As past life imprints begin to soften through meditation and devotion, a quiet transformation takes place in daily life. Freedom is no longer something distant or mystical, it becomes a living experience in the present moment. Clearing past life imprints does not mean erasing history or becoming someone new. It means no longer being unconsciously driven by old reactions. Life begins to feel lighter, choices become clearer, and the heart responds with greater calm instead of habit. In yogic wisdom, true liberation is not found by constantly looking backward, but by learning how to remain fully awake now. Each moment of awareness weakens the power of old tendencies. When fear arises, it is seen rather than obeyed. When old emotional patterns appear, they are met with understanding instead of judgment. This gentle witnessing breaks the cycle of repetition. The soul learns through awareness, not through struggle. Living free means practicing meditation regularly, but also carrying its essence into everyday actions. Speak with awareness. Act with calm intention. Pause before reacting. These small moments of consciousness dissolve karma faster than effort alone. Gradually, the seeker realizes that the present moment holds no burden from the past. It is always fresh, always open. As this understanding deepens, peace becomes natural rather than forced. Joy no longer depends on outer circumstances. The soul begins to recognize itself as the silent observer behind all experiences. In this recognition, the past loses its grip, and the future loses its anxiety. What remains is clarity, compassion, and quiet strength, the natural state of the awakened soul. Outro: a closing, 300 words, with call to action. Dear seeker, as we come to the close of this reflection, take a gentle moment to feel what remains within you. Not ideas, not effort, but a subtle sense of calm awareness. Your soul has traveled through many experiences, across many lifetimes, learning, growing, and remembering itself again and again. And yet, the truth is simple: you were never broken, never lost, and never separate from peace. Meditation does not create freedom, it reveals the freedom that has always been there. Clearing past life imprints is not a dramatic event. It is a quiet unfolding. Each moment of stillness loosens an old knot. Each act of awareness softens a habit formed long ago. With patience and sincerity, the weight of the past gradually lifts, and life begins to feel guided rather than forced. Trust this process. The soul knows exactly what it is doing. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on what arose within your heart. I invite you to share in the comments, did any thoughts, emotions, or realizations surface as you listened? Your reflection may help another seeker on their path. Also, let me know what you would like to explore next. Would you like a guided meditation, teachings on karma, deeper practices for inner peace, or wisdom on self-realization? Your voice matters here. If you found value in this message, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. May your meditation be deep, your heart be light, and your awareness steady. Until we meet again on this sacred path, walk gently, breathe consciously, and remember who you truly are. Jai Guru Dev.